Hello, I am coming in here today to talk to you about Deep Blue, an oil that I have been using. It is called the Soothing Blend. It has beautiful oils inside, and it's emotionally the oil of surrendering pain. What I love about these oils, you guys, is that yes, they support us physically, and I can use this to address my physical pain. But what's even more beautiful is going to the root of that. So sometimes we are holding onto old traumas and pains, and that manifests in the body. And so that is specifically what I am using Deep Blue for right now. Is I have this immense shoulder pain going on. However, when you look up the emotional or spiritual component as to why we could be enduring shoulder pain, it is deeper. There's a root there, and I will share with you guys a book that I love. I'm gonna read this out loud to you, but that is what I love about the essential oils, is that you can go and use them for the physical, but inadvertently it can help move emotional pain, or vice versa. You can work with the emotional body, and inadvertently and directly it will impact your pain body. So how I like to work with the oil is taking a deep breath in, because when you breathe in the aroma, it actually is working with your limbic system, and it's kind of creating like, okay, this is safe, like a safe space. And then take a couple drops and apply it directly. For me right now, I'm working with my shoulder, so I'm gonna rub it in. It always feels really good. There's like wintergreen, helichrysum. Wintergreen is the oil of surrender. Helichrysum is the oil of pain. There's camphor. What else is in here? Ylang ylang, blue tansy. Blue tansy is like inspired action. Ylang ylang is inner child, definitely dealing with grief. And so this, you guys, if any of that is stuff that's coming up for you, if you're having any physical pain in your body, this is a beautiful oil to work with. The other thing I like to do is when I breathe it in, just notice where in my body it goes to. So I actually do feel it like going to my lower back. I can feel it opening up my sacral. I kind of actually feel like my shoulders want to let go back and kind of move, right? So it's already doing its job, where it starts to send energy into these areas that maybe they've been restricted, or we've been holding, we hold stuff in our body. And we go into different, modes, right? Fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn. And so just noticing, that's the first step, is like noticing where in the body are you feeling sensations, and what is it communicating to you, and just maybe just giving yourself space and time to be with that, and just kind of let your body speak to you. Let your body, work with your body to explore and give it space to just, be with it. It's like yoga, but it's like with oils, right? And so you get to kind of sit with where it feels like it's helping expand, and just noticing what is happening within your body. I use these oils in my Reiki practice with my clients, and so I will do an oil treatment on them before Reiki, and we work with about 8 different oils, and I will have them breathe them in, ask them where in their body it's going, what is it bringing up for them, and then I apply it to their spine. For me, just sitting with Deep Blue, even just now, allowing myself to take that deep breath, it's just bringing me into presence. It's bringing me into awareness. It's bringing me into stillness. And we don't offer that to ourselves that often, right? We live in a very busy world, our culture. And so this to me is like one of the greatest gifts I can give myself, is working with the oils in this way, slowing down, noticing the sensations, and also what is bubbling up. So the last couple days for me, so much has been coming up to the surface around self-worth, around being, feeling like I'm all alone, and that, in these, in my just life and what I have going on responsibility-wise. There are kittens in our room right now. We had a trash truck come by, so they're like being quiet, and kind of one went under the bed. But it's been full. It's been full. We have 2 children. We have an elder dog. We have 2 kittens. I'm working on building a business and showing up again in my life for, just to be seen and to express myself and share the things that I love sharing and that I love helping other people with. And so what I've noticed is that shouldering all the responsibilities on my own, shouldering the fact that I don't want to be vulnerable or open up because it's a pattern of when I was younger. I stayed quiet and it was chaotic in our home, and there was a lot that was being tended to, and I didn't want to add to any of the stress. I didn't feel like my needs or my problems were what I wanted to add to, like, say, my mom's plate. She had a lot going on when she was my age, was overwhelmed with being a mother and working full time and having children, and my dad traveled and she was really stressed. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to add my stress to her stress and make it even worse, because what happens is like an explosion, right? And so I learned to stay quiet. I learned to not speak up when I was experiencing discomfort or anxiety or worry or needed help. Didn't know what a nervous system was, didn't know how to, yes, I knew how to be with myself. I would like listen to music and, allow myself to like emote through the music, but I did it in silence. I did it without talking to friends. I did it without telling anyone. It was like, you get to suffer in silence, and that is just how things are. So what it's teaching me is, what this pain, the shoulder pain, is teaching me is that it's important for me to be able to express and share in a safe space what I'm moving through, and that maybe that person isn't available, and that's okay. And I also don't have to do everything on my own. I get to speak to my husband and say, hey, I'm really overwhelmed. Can you help out with this? Or, talk to my daughter and say, we have a lot of responsibility now that we have, new pets, and, I'm trying to work more. Is it possible? Or like, let's sit down and figure out, what can you take on? What can I take on? And how can we do this together? Because I saw my mother suffer in silence. She was resentful. She would be angry. She would have explosive, outbursts. And then that's how I learned. And that was what I wanted to mimic, or that, not that I wanted to mimic, but that is what I have mimicked based on, seeing that, experiencing that. And then also that's a pattern that I have taken on. And I'm sure that she learned that from her mom, because her dad passed away when she was young. And so her mom was responsible for working, 4 children, did not have a spouse, did not have a partner, did not have a husband, and probably no extra help. And so it's something we continue to pass on. And so if I don't stop the pattern, then that is something that I will, teach my children, and then they'll teach their children, and it continues on. So yesterday, Claudia and I actually sat down and had the most beautiful conversation. We both shared where we were, where we needed support. She opened up and shared things that she was going through. I shared with her what I was going through. And that's sometimes all it takes, is just cracking open, being vulnerable, sharing, and knowing we got to a place where we found solutions, and just speaking all these things that we push down and letting them out, that changed everything. In fact, I actually slept last night and got comfortable, where I haven't been doing that. And so I do attribute, I started using this again, to the Deep Blue yesterday. And I just noticed me being more open to, sharing and getting support. And that is the beauty of these oils.